Bishar. We're getting into the papers now, of course, to make sure you're caught up with what's happening in Kenya and around the world.
Yes.
Starting off with the Daily Nation, there's a headline and on page 6 and 7 about the Finance Act 2023, which was thrown out by the courts and declared unconstitutional. This is not to be confused with the Finance Bill 2023-2020. I mean, 2025. This is enacted last year, but the court has now, because lack of public participation being one of the main reasons.
So the nullification of the Finance Act 2023 yesterday presented a win-lose situation for Kenyans as it reversed some gains introduced by the laws while quashing some of the punitive tax measures brought by the Kenya Kwanza administration. And of course, immediately the court made the decision. MPs raised the nullification of the law amounts to judicial dictatorship. The government is the biggest loser as the 16% VAT on petroleum products, which was imposed by the Act last year, will now revert to the previous rate of 8%. And of course, we are looking at a situation whereby any time mafuta inapanda, there is high cost of living because all other levies always receive a hike, and subsequently is going to affect the operations.
Yeah.
And as we look at the situation, these deductions, or rather the lack of increase, therefore affected the finance bill. The Finance Act 2022, VAT was imposed on the fuel at the rate of 8%, and it later on increased to 16%. So the numbers keep going up and doubling on the taxation of fuel.
That's right. The Finance Act 2020 was actually the first one to propose that VAT on fuel be increased to 16%. But because of a worry on increasing the cost of living, that was postponed right up until 2022, and then now into 2023. For the and losses, actually, the locally manufactured phones will now revert to the previous tax bracket with the nullification of the act. They had been zero rated to encourage, manufacturers of mobile to suppliers of motorcycles who are also zero rated, but will now go into their previous tax brackets. But there's also for mobile money transfer services, for example, attracted a 15% excise duty, they'll now revert back to 12%, while gamers will also celebrate because betting will now revert to 7.5% from 12.5%.
As we look at that, also the big winners, as we say, is VAT on fuel products. You can actually check on that. That is 1.5%. Pay as you earn, 32.5%. That is in between 500,000 shillings and 800,000 shillings. 35% above 800,000. So those are the figures that you're going to be looking at. If you grab yourself a copy of the Daily Nation, page 6 and 7 will definitely tell you what's happening. And of course, front page and page 2 of the Business Daily will definitely tell you what's happening. The Finance Act 2023.